Hello, and welcome to episode 229 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach,
And I'm Jeff.
and we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right. Just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers and talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client MTG Arena.
That is right. And this week, well, we got it's a normal episode. Like, it's normal.
Yeah.
We just, it's a little different the way that we're getting some of the information, but we're putting it out the same way that we always do.
Is it, though? Is it different?
It's not that different. It's been happening more and more recently. We'll get into that very shortly. But first, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right. This week we actually have a double header. So often when we have these little guys, the 355 milliliter beers, kind of like your standard Coke can size of beer.
Yeah.
We like to do two because normally we have the tall boys.
Yeah.
And so recently I got us a 6-pack of a variety pack from a brewery called Unibrew in Quebec. And this has a special place in our hearts because the place that we met where we did draft and draft was semi-famous for serving the cheapest fin du monde in the city. You could get fin du monde, which Unibrew makes, and it's a Belgian triple, and it's, I think, 9%. And it was $5 for a pint, which is absurd by today's standards, but was also even absurd back then. Zach, I think maybe you kind of caught on to it a little later.
Yeah, I really just randomly stumbled into it. But anyway, it is definitely part of our hearts and and the podcast.
Part of our history, and so we have this mixed pack to try their other beers. And we did this, like, I don't know, half a dozen episodes ago or something like that.
I have no idea.
And we tried a couple of them. One of the ones we tried was Maudit, which is a brown ale, and was, I think, a double. And so they use kind of the Belgian sense, single, double, triple, kind of means like light, regular, strong. And so up first tonight we have Petit Maudit, which is means little Maudit.
Yes.
And this is a single brown ale, and it's 4%. I think we talked a little bit about it last time. Maudit in like Quebecois culture, the word technically means like cursed or damned or something, but they kind of use it as almost like a swear word or like.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah.
It's the way to describe it because it's not always negative. You could say like, oh, she has a crazy good singing voice. You might say like Maudit in that situation in French. But the sort of typical thing is like, damn, or like, fuck, Maudit.
Sure. I see.
But like, oh, she has a fucking good singing voice or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. That makes
So
sense.
it's kind of used in that manner. And a lot of Quebecois, like, curse words are related to church, which English
Right.
has a bit of as well, but it's very much so in Quebec. Like, everything's related to the part of the church is like the worst curse word you could say. And so I think that's kind of what they're going for here. Maudit is just like that sort of generic word that technically does mean cursed or damned or whatever. So that'll be our starter. Then we're moving up in terms of the ABV content to Don de Dieu. This is a Belgian-style imperial wheat ale. This is the first time I've seen them kind of diverge from the single, double, triple sort of language. They just said, like, extra strong beer, imperial, and it's a 9% wheat beer. Don de Dieu technically means gift of God, but I think reading the little thing on the side, I think it's referencing, like, an explorer. And that was the name of their boat, I'm guessing. And this person seems to have met with some of the First Nations people of Quebec. So probably some sort of founder of Quebec.
Probably a really great guy, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
famously everyone who came in on boats and met First Nations and
these
Native
Europeans
Americans.
who came and bartered with the First
Yeah,
Nations
all the
peoples.
Spanish traders. Yeah, they're all great. They're
It was
awesome.
fantastic. So we're celebrating that in this beer.
No, we're not. We're not
No,
celebrating that at
just
all.
the boat that he came on.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
gift
great.
of God.
They did have good boats, I will say.
Yeah, it must have
But-
been a hell of a boat, right?
Basically, everything else is kind of horrible.
Awful,
Yeah,
unspeakable. I might say.
yeah, yeah. Is that what this one's depicting? Them getting on the canoe to get to the actual shore?
It could be.
No, they've got life jackets. No, there's a cooler. No, this is
This one
camp.
seems cooler. Yeah, like these people are cursed in some capacity. I think.
Yeah. I think they're just drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
they
Great.
just had a
Awesome.
few too many modits.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, Jeff. Let's get it going. Let's crack these open. Well, let's crack one of these open. We're going to start with the little guy, and move on over. All right. Here we go. Alrighty. With that, we have some magic news. Really, the only news is Strixhaven spoilers are happening right now. And when I say Strixhaven, I mean Secrets of Strixhaven, of course. The newest Magic the Gathering set coming out in like the late April. Well, some of the cards were coming out. The story has been happening all week. And so they've had, intentional mini spoilers.
Yeah.
And then PAX East is happening right now, so there are some spoilers there as well. But also, on a Whatnot stream, someone was opening up a bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collector boosters and found a bunch of Secrets of Strixhaven cards. So, this is what we would normally call a leak.
Sort of.
Sort of. So on the show in the past, we've always decided to only engage with officially spoiled cards. Because there's a lot of people that either get these cards as like preview cards and we don't want to step on their toes, or we don't want to engage with leaked material, because sometimes it's people at a warehouse who have taken some pictures. Sometimes they've been fallen into people's hands in different ways, and spreading them on the internet we want to discourage. But recently, Wizards has just been screwing up all over the place, and so I feel like it's fair game.
Yeah, previously there wasn't a reason, or there wasn't a difference between unintentional spoilers and leaks, right? There was just spoilers that they were actually meant to show you, and then leaks, which generally, as you said, was some guy who had some sort of in with Wizards, and they had a burner Nokia phone that they found in a dumpster somewhere, and they take a picture from across the room, and they post it online for reasons.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Been clear on what they get from doing this, but as you said, we don't want to support that, and that really actually does kind of hurt Wizards and their bottom line to have their planning, and maybe they offered that card as a preview to someone, and now they have to, it just kind of messes things up, which isn't good for the game.
It also, being someone who's looking for spoilers, isn't that fun if you do that out there.
Right.
The first time you read a card, if it's not in focus, or you can't see the art very well, or it's hard to read, or it's on a table and somebody's feet are underneath it, things like that, it doesn't have the same feel as getting the real nice image. And so it kind of muddies up everything a little bit.
And then a lot of the time they'd be wrong, which is why the image was so crappy, because you would tell that it's fake if the image was good, but because it's not, you're like, oh, some leaks do look like this.
Yeah, and there's been ones, it's the mana costs look different, or something else happened, or all this stuff. And so sometimes it's not really fun to engage with them because you don't even know if they're real in the first place. But I do know that the ones that we've gotten that have been leaked so far, or the main big one, has been confirmed. and all the big creators that are like close to Wizards talked to Wizards to be like, can I talk about this card or not? Like, it's everywhere. And then they have said, yes, you can talk about it. It is everywhere. There's nothing we can do about it now, so just go for it. Because, as soon as these cards get leaked, Wizards wants to jump on it and give the nice versions so that everybody's only sharing the good version of the card. That's correct. Easy to read, looks nice. And then they get to, own the narrative or whatever.
Yeah. And I think from my perspective, it's like the person who shared this just happened to open this card in a legally purchased pack. It was Wizards that made some sort of mistake. I don't think this person is doing anything wrong by posting a picture of that online. So I don't have any issues supporting that, right? Whereas with the guy in the warehouse, intentionally leaking stuff that they may have signed an NDA, not like I don't want to support that. That's not
exactly
the right thing to be doing.
Yeah, and I still don't understand what they gain from it. It just doesn't make any sense. As opposed to, I'm streaming opening packs and it's like, oh, what the heck is this card?
Like what are they supposed to...
And the other thing is that, like, Wizards is screwing up with packaging things a lot in the beginning of this year.
A lot.
It's like every other episode we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So, like, things we thought just got mixed up between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Lore and Eclipse, but this now proves that they were also making Secrets of Strixhaven cards in the same warehouse at the same time as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones were also getting packaged. And so that means, like, is this just a chain that it's just, we're going to get Marvel cards and Secrets of Strixhaven, and then we're going to get whatever Hobbit cards and Marvel and
it
vice
feels
versa.
That way, right? Like, however long it took them to fix that issue, there was some sort of... however long it took for them to realize the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards were in the Lorwyn pre-release packs or whatever, they'd already scheduled or done however many things.
Yeah.
So, and depending on how long it takes them to fix it, it just kind of feels like it's a thing that's going to happen until the timeline catches up, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how bad it's been. Like, this is not completely unheard of, that, like, cards kind of find their way into the wrong thing. But it used to be, like, it happened to some person one time,
Yeah.
in the whole set, and it's a really weird occurrence. This is so widespread that it literally happened to me. Like, my pre-release promo was a Ninja Turtle card. And it happened to, like, half a dozen people at my table at the pre-release, So
which is insane. And so this kind of proves to me that, like, the release schedule is too intense. They are jamming releases of sets too close together, and the way that they're trying to go about doing that and cutting corners or whatever, so they can print things and package them at the same time, is not working. So either they have to fix that or slow down the sets again. Like, to be fair, they have made this many sets in the past. They just haven't been all standard legal. So they haven't all had pre-release kits, or they haven't all had the same amount of products. Like, whatever, Ravnica Remastered bumping into whatever set was over there. Like, they didn't have any issues with their packaging stuff, but for whatever reason, this is having a huge problem, and it feels like it's Universes Beyond's fault. That's what everyone's going to blame. It just feels like too much.
What is it?
But it just feels like an easy place to point and be like, hey, your standard release schedule is too fast. This looks like exactly the reason why we don't want this to happen, and it looks really bad on you. And boy, does it not make me feel great about the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So
who knows how how long we're supposed to expect this to continue?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Blech. But anyway, I guess the good side of it is that we do get to see some of the cards early, and we do get to talk about them, which is still fun. And even with all this stuff, I don't know, Jeff, like, this is the first time we're talking about Strixhaven, and I'm, like, kind of excited. I like it. Looking at some of these cards and then going back and looking at some of the old Strixhaven cards have been getting me very nostalgic for the beginning of the podcast because it was like a third set that we did when we started the podcast. So it's just been really fun to kind of walk back through memory lane, and I don't know. I'm just excited for the set now, which I wasn't like 2 days ago. So
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the big announcement that Snarls are back, baby.
ugh, yuck. Can we please say that like we fixed them somehow? Just better, different.
Just make them like you lose a life when they enter the battlefield.
If you don't remember, the Snarls are like one of the worst rare dual cycles that we ever got.
I think it's the only time that a rare dual cycle has come out in a standard legal set, and just nobody played them in standard because they just
horrible.
weren't better than like not playing them.
Just playing basics. Like Snarls are like two colors and they enter tapped unless you can show that you have a basic, or I guess it's just a land of that type in your hand. Now, to be fair, they've been pushing that a little bit different. So, like the Witherbloom one came into play tapped unless you had a swamp or a forest in your hand. We have a lot more cards now that would work well with that, right? So we do have shocks, and so Snarls couldn't be the worst thing. Though to be fair, some of them are only like multiversal passage is only that type when it's on the battlefield, not in your hand.
And the other thing is, like, in an environment where Snarls are not terrible, you would never play Snarls because the cards that are facilitating them are better. So it's just like, maybe it gets in as like the one copy because you just needed your freaking 13th green-black duel or something. Yeah. But like, in order for them to be good, you need typed duels, and all the typed duels are better than these. So.
So why would you even play them in the first place? Also, with standard being 3 years and having like whatever 20 something sets, you don't need to play Snarls. Though maybe planar standard will be stuck playing Snarls.
Like Surveil lands could make sense in Strixhaven.
They could, yeah. Maybe they just make up a new one though. That'd be nice. I always like that.
Yeah, or just like OG duels.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? They're reprinting a bunch of other busted cards, so let's just put in the lands too.
Yeah, throw them in there.
No, they're gonna wait until Marvel to do that.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, we have some new and returning mechanics that are coming up in the Strixhaven format in the set. Some of them kind of interesting, some of them less interesting, of course. I think that Converge coming back is kind of interesting. This is a mechanic that cares about having multiple colors of mana being used to cast the spell. And so most of the cards tend to be 5 mana or more so that you can get all the colors in there. Get all your juice. But before this, like, we haven't really had Converge in a standard legal set since like Battle for Zendikar or something. That was like when we had that. And then previously before that, I mean, I know Sunburst from Fifth Dawn had a similar mechanic.
But my question about this is like, why? But maybe that will become clear. Like, does anyone ever like these? But fine. Converge is it's okay. It could be like a limited thing. Like maybe there's a 5-color deck to supplement the 5 houses, like we kind of talked about a little bit with in Lorwyn, how like you'd be nice to have that 6th and 7th kind of decks.
Yeah. Because once again, if you don't remember Strixhaven originally, there are only 5 color pairs. It's all the enemy colors.
Right.
And so having the 5-color deck is nice to have the 6th archetype.
But I'll also admit to being biased because Battle for Zendikar is a scourge on the earth. So
I do know you hate that set a lot. Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. So this having last time I played this being in that set was
bad. Yeah. So most of the ones that people remember that they liked a lot, like Radiant Flames, Bring to Light specifically is the one that like saw the most play. But there were also, I think they had Converge in like one of the Modern Horizon sets. I can't remember if it was like the second one or something like that. But Prismatic Ending was a big card as well.
Oh, sure. It seems like it's going to be targeted at limited, though, because in order to make a Converge spell good in standard,
it has to be bust.
It's going to be Prismatic Ending.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with it, but I don't have huge hopes for exciting stuff with this one. We have like a couple draft uncommons that like make our opponents discard cards or kill creatures, and not even really that excited to talk about them. But I like it when they do go back and just, instead of making up a new name for it, I just use the old name. Just use the same mechanic. Sometimes it's like, do we really need like another variant of this one? Oh, this one just doesn't work with your opponent's creatures, and the last one worked with your opponent's creatures.
Yeah, it's always like
Stuff
essentially the same, but it just is slightly modernized in how they design cards now. They love to do that, right? Like take an old mechanic and just be like, how would we design this today? It's like 95% the same. But
basically the same, but like less busted, but also kind of less fun sometimes.
Right.
So anyway, Converge is back. Another mechanic that they're pulling from the depths. And this is actually, I want to talk about this one for a little bit. Grandeur. That's how you say it, right? Grandeur? Grandeur? Grandeur?
I don't know. I would say grandeur, but I think in English, you don't.
Sure. Right, of course. Anyway, this one's really exciting because, Jeff, do you want to explain what this mechanic is?
All right, so let's read Page Loose Leaf. I knew we were going to start with this spoiler. So, Page Loose Leaf is 2 for an 0/2 legendary artifact creature construct. Tap to add one. And it has Grandeur. Discard another card named Page Loose Leaf. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal instant or sorcery card. Put that in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, this is generally, I don't know if it's official that it has to be on a legendary creature, but like
they've only been on legendary creatures.
I've only ever seen it on that, because that's where it sort of makes sense, sort of from a gameplay wise, of if you draw your second legendary, there's a way to cycle it, essentially get rid of it.
There's something to do with it. That's cool. Yeah.
And the idea that it's on the first one that's already in play is kind of a neat way to do that. Like, you could give a legendary creature cycling or whatever. That's not quite the same thing. This is literally like you need the first one in play in order to get rid of the extra copy.
This is like, if you play 4 copies in your deck, it's actually good. As opposed to before, where you're
or it's not as punishing.
Yeah.
And in this case, it seems good because you go to get something to cast with your mana dork. You generally don't want a hand riddled with mana dorks. But yeah, it's cool, like legendary protection, and in a world where there are so many legendaries all the time, I almost wonder if this should just be evergreen. Like, not every legendary creature should have it, obviously. But like, should this just be something that if we're gonna print sets with like, what were some of the 45% of the creatures, or like some of the crazy percentages you were throwing out last time? Like, maybe legendary protection should just be a thing that
is in the rules.
Yeah.
That
we see this. It doesn't have to be a set mechanic kind of thing. Sort of like.
I like the idea of like just baked into the rules. If you have a legendary creature out in the battlefield, you can discard a card of the same name to draw a card.
Yeah, I think that
may be too powerful.
It would be too good, like going back, right? Because a lot of the ways they designed these cards was that it sucks to draw multiple of them, kind of thing. Especially for like 2-drops and stuff like that. But I think it was something we need to do more if so many of our creatures are going to be legendary.
Yeah, it's definitely true, especially because like this one's common. So you're like,
Right.
thank God, please.
Why
let
is my
me-
common legendary or my common mana dork legendary? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So at least this, I like Page. I think this is a nice way of mitigating the whole. We're going to be obviously having way too many legendaries and stuff. I just wanted to point out, like, Grandeur has been a mechanic that, like, we recently saw it in Modern Horizons 3. Okay, so we had it on, like, Skoa Ember Mage. But before that, we hadn't seen it since a cycle of 5 cards in Future Sight.
I was gonna
And-
say, like, I'm thinking of like a Black Knight
Yes.
from 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, his name's Corlash, heir to Blackblade.
Yes, that's the card that I'm thinking of when I heard Grandeur is back. I'm like, the thing on that Black Knight from 20 years ago?
It's cool as hell. Yeah, this is a, like, I just want to talk about this card because it's sick. But it's a 4 mana, like, it's 2 black for a star. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you control. You can regenerate it for 1 and a black. And if you discard another copy of it from your hand, you get to search your library for up to 2 swamp cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. So, like, just for free as a combat drake, you can just go get swamps, ramp, and make your creature bigger.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Super sick. So what I want to know is, are we going to get any of these future sighted cards in this set? Because Future Sight, if you remember, for those who don't know, there was a block that was Time Shift, Planar Chaos, and then Future Sight.
Time Spiral, I think.
Time Spiral, thank you. Time Spiral had time shifted cards. Time Spiral had it was like older cards. There's a bunch of there's like an old border in every pack. It was a whole thing looking at the past. Planar Chaos was the present, but what if cards were in different colors and the world was different, which we're kind of moving into in the future very soon. Actually,
It was like the present, but it was the present. But what if the color pie was different, and that sort of became the future actually? But
a little bit, yeah. It was where Naturalize got printed and gave green card draw, basically, and kind of fucked up a lot of stuff. And also Commander players forever were like, well, the Damnation, that was supposed to be Wrath of God, and then Black all of a sudden had Damnation, and then blah, 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 blah. But the one I actually want to talk about is Future Sight, because Future Sight had a weird frame, and it was supposed to be all cards from the future, and there's a bunch of cards with a bunch of weird mechanics you'd never seen before that were kind of one-offs or little cycles like this one. And they have gone through and printed those cards into future sets to be like, see, this is the future that we were talking about back then in that set, to kind of prove themselves right as they were looking towards the future.
whoever designed Future Set plagued the design team for like 20 years.
It's like, I think it's just really interesting. I mean,
It's a very bold thing to do. But...
It is very bold. It's a really cool idea. At the time, I hated it because I thought that the Future Sight, I didn't know the joke. I thought the Future Sight symbol or the frame was just the new card frame.
Me too. I remember seeing like a Tarmogoyf actually, and I was like, I hate that.
I hate it. I was livid. Now I kind of like it. Kind of like it a little bit.
Like, ooh, cool. It's like, because it very much has that. What does the future look like to people a long time ago vibe to it?
Like, it does.
It looks like bad futuristic, man. But now it's like retro.
It's just cool.
It's like
I don't know.
Cool now.
So anyway, the main reason I want to bring all this up is because I want to know if any of these 5 cards are going to be reprinted into Secrets of Strixhaven. Now, it's very, 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 very unlikely because all 5 of them are legendary and because they kind of talk about things from Dominaria. So, like, all of
their flavor is kind of like
Heir to Blackblade, Fist of Croza, Zephyr Mage, Samite Guardian.
They gave themselves an out with Omen Paths on these.
They did. So there's a world where maybe one of these pops up. I don't know. I think it would be super cool.
Shove them all into like the Commander product or something.
That's true. They could just do that. That would be kind of a bummer, actually. I'd be pretty pissed. I feel like it's kind of cheating if you did that.
It definitely is.
They did,
But-
because I was just going to say, with one of the future sighted cards, I think it's called Steam Flogger Boss. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
Where they like printed it and they're like, oh yeah, this is a cool card. It talks about contraptions or something. But then like your contraptions deck was a silver border product, and
Right.
Steam Flogger Boss was the only black bordered card in the entire set, because it was like, well, technically you can play this one.
Print it.
We did print it, and we made a whole set around basically this guy, but you can't play him anywhere else. So, anyway, Future Sight, really weird set, super cool. Would love to see some of it pop up right now, but maybe we'll talk more about that whole block in a couple months when we get to Reality Shatter. Reality Fracture.
Yeah, fracture. The other thing I wanted to say about Grander, though, kind of on that note that we were hitting there, is it's kind of an interesting mechanic to print. Now we're talking about how there are so many legendary creatures, but the reason there's so many legendary creatures is that Commander is the most popular format, and Commander doesn't care about this mechanic.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So it's kind of like, this mechanic is for us, us non-Commander players who have to deal with half the set being legendary all the time.
Yeah, and then this mechanic was made before Commander was a thing at all.
Right.
And people were just dealing with, I drew my second or third copy of this card. What do I do?
And that's kind of why I think, it's not a bad idea to have this be a little more evergreen. I guess it takes up so much of the card ability, and
It
Commander
does.
players don't want that. But
I also
a
don't
version
like
that you're
reading.
saying, it's just always the same thing. It's always cycling or whatever.
Yeah.
And it maybe called something else, would be nice, because that would bridge the gap on the half the set has to be legendary to satisfy our Commander players, but then our limited players are like, well, why is my 2-drop legendary, my 2-drop common card? And so having this some sort of evergreen mechanic that, and it's like trample. When I say evergreen, I don't mean every legendary creature has this, but you put it on legendary creatures, and it's just one word, and it's like legend cycle or something. And if you already have it in play, you just get to cycle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I wonder if you could also just call it Grandeur, but then these other ones have special abilities. It's like you could discard it for a card, or you could discard it to do this thing, which is way better. With our example from Strixhaven, right? You could either cycle it to draw a card, or you could cycle it to look for a specific, or look for an instant or sorcery, which is probably way better.
yeah. Right. And it could be, cycling, but if you have a card named this in play, then it's super cycling.
Exactly, yeah. Or something. I like that. I think it could be baked so much into the rules that, they're not going to let us do this, but not write it on the card. Maybe you just should know. Probably won't tell. That won't happen ever. But
It's not really a modern thing. That's a very old school thing.
Yeah. They're not really interested in doing that type of stuff. But
The old gotcha, I know the rules better than you, so I win.
normally I don't advocate for adding extra text to cards, but I do like this idea.
Well, that's actually a good, intro, because one of the things Strixhaven, the original, was famous for was raw text on cards. Holy
true.
shit! Did every card in that set have a lot of text, and some of them had 2 sides, absolutely jam-packed full of text.
Yes.
And I remember you loving that, actually, if I remember all the way back.
That was my favorite
You were
part.
really excited about just the raw word count.
The
So
number
are you
of
hoping... Are you seeing the same thing here? Are you excited again from just the raw word counts?
Well, so far, specifically, Jeff is talking about the deans. The deans.
We're so complicated and so bad. That was one of my favorite cycles. Because
So
why did
yeah.
they do this?
Ask any Magic player ever. Or as the professor from YouTube would say, many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, what did the deans do? Does anyone know what any of the deans do?
Yeah.
They don't.
If you were playing at that time and you ever like encountered a dean in limited, it was just nightmare because you're like, what does this thing do?
Yeah, oftentimes when you're like, oh, there's multiple sides to a card, you're like, because this was the beginning of when they were doing the modal double face cards, where they're really excited about it. So like all those, it was just there's so much text. This wasn't just the deans, but the deans were the worst because they were legendary on both sides. They were two different colors, and they had so much text, and they did
so much
nothing. They were so horrible. Bad. They were really, really bad. So they weren't even like playable. It wasn't even like, oh yeah, one of them's playable, and the front side's really good, and then you could play the back side, but most people don't, or vice versa. It wasn't that case at all. It was nobody plays terrible. Any of them. And so if anyone played one against you, you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, you tell me if something happens.
Yeah, I'll just believe you. I don't want to read it.
Sure. Okay. So far, I have not seen any double face cards in Strixhaven, Secrets of Strixhaven, and I am very happy about it.
But boy, they went really fast from like one side's a land and the other side's a basic creature to both sides are insanely complicated legendary creatures that don't really do anything.
It took like 2 sets. Yeah. It was like Kaldheim was like, hey, legendary creature and their cool sword or boat or whatever. And you're like, okay, I can kind of get behind this. It's like thematic or whatever. To now they're different colors and completely different creatures. And they do different things altogether. And nothing is close to being conjoined at all. And God, it was just awful. God.
And when there's such a prevailing opinion about a set in that way, Wizards has a documented history of like overcorrecting. So if a set was busted, you know the next one's going to be garbage. Like the return in terms of power level. Mm-hmm. Strixhaven, for those who weren't playing, was known for being extremely complicated and low power.
Underpowered.
Yeah. Like, the Deans were absolutely representative of that set, of just so much text, but the net result of that card is bad. Mm-hmm. And that's what Strixhaven was kind of known for. And, like, the dual lands didn't help because they were awful. And just, like, none of the mechanics were pushed for competitive constructed play. And so it was just like this set that made almost no impact but had so many words. So I'm kind of expecting short punchy things this time.
Well, we'll get back to that because I am interested to talk about cards from original Strixhaven that I'm kind of thinking about while going into some of this stuff. But before we do that, I want to quickly touch on one more mechanic before we talk about something that's actually interesting. We have another mechanic.
The mechanics we have left are interesting, for sure.
Well, Opus, little less super exciting. Opus is a ability word that cares specifically about instants and sorceries being cast. And then if that instant or sorcery had 5 mana value paid for it, or more. They're doing the same thing as Final Fantasy, where you actually had to spend the mana. They've learned that you can't just let people cheat on mana costs to get value. You actually have to spend the mana.
Somebody spilled the beans on that one.
Yeah, thank God. Anyway, the one thing I want to say about Opus is that they really like to do this thing where it's like, hey, remember that one mechanic we did from a couple sets ago? Let's do it just a little different. Why is the number for the mana value that we care about 5 or more instead of 4?
Sure, there's a good reason. We just can't see it because, we only have so many cards to look at the moment.
Sure. I like it when you're building your deck and you're like, oh, let's take these Final Fantasy cards that also cared about higher mana values. And now I don't have to remember, This one's 4. This one's 5. Ugh.
Oh yeah, it's a brewer's nightmare to have
Yeah.
these things in the same standard.
And it reminds me of when we would play rogues, and some cards cared about 8 cards in your graveyard, and some cared about 7.
Totally.
And it was like,
You almost never got used to that.
no. You're always like, oh, this one cares about 7, but this one's 8. And so
Right.
you're like fighting for a long time. You're like, okay, that's going to be the last card I need. And then your creature doesn't get bigger. And you're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
my God.
I
That
thought
was...
I hit my threshold, but
Ah,
I
God
got
damn
for the
it.
creature.
Yeah.
But I was able to draw 3 cards.
Yeah. So I think that pisses me off. I can feel that annoying me already. Now, when we're playing in Limited, I think that the actual mechanic will work quite nicely. I liked the way that it worked in Final Fantasy, and it seems even a little more juiced here, where you get value from just casting spells, and then it's just extra if it's bigger.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, not so stoked on the whole not talking to each other thing when we're making sets. Come on, guys. Just I'm sure they had a reason. You're right. They probably had a reason.
Should we read one of these cards, I guess?
We could definitely read one of these cards. Jeff, is there one that jumped out at you? Because there's definitely one that jumped out at me.
Let's do the Stallion.
Oh, sure. Do you
So,
want to read it?
Color Storm Stallion. 1 blue red for an elemental horse. 3/3. Ward 1. Haste. It has Opus. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell. Create a token that's a copy of this creature. So, 3/3 Ward 1 Haste. It's nothing to sneeze at already. And basically has prowess. And then if that spell ever has 5 or more, you get another 3/3 Ward 1 Haste prowess out of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. It's not bad. This was the first one I read, and I was like, okay, so Opus is prowess with a +5 thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I read the other card. So let's quickly read that. Molten Core Maestro, 1 and a red, 2/2 Menace, Goblin Bard. Opus, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell. Add an amount of red mana equal to this creature's power. And then I had to go back and read the Stallion and be like, was it prowess or was it a +1/+1 counter? And no, it's prowess. That's the part that annoys me, I think. Like, they didn't baseline the first part. And so every card that has this is going to have a different ability for both parts of the mechanic.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm fine with that.
I think it's just weird. Like, this is barely a mechanic. It's just that, it cares about spells and then also 5 or greater. So we keyworded that for some reason.
Yeah, but I think that because then that there's going to be one that says every time you cast an instant or sorcery,
I know
ping
why
somebody
they ended up
and
doing
then,
it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it will. It's
They
exactly
go
what
in
you're
different
saying.
decks,
It'll
yeah.
signify that the next rider is coming, and it will have to do with 5. But you still have to read the whole thing every single time because it's never the same.
That's true.
I don't know. I hope this isn't too prevalent, or maybe it's because these are rares, and
That's true. It could be because
on a
they're
lot
rares.
of the commons and uncommons, the Opus kind of does the same thing.
Or like they only trigger on the 5 and they don't trigger on the less ones or whatever.
Or like it's always prowess plus something, and it's just the rares that could differ from that kind of thing.
That's true. We don't really know yet.
That was the part that was a bit of an eyebrow raise for me. I'm like, this is almost isn't even a mechanic. This is just like cares about spells, and they all do something different.
I kind of, but that's ability words are kind of like that though, where they're like,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more excited about this. I think the Molten Core Maestro seems kind of interesting. It does the types of stuff I want to do, except for the casting a big spell is like
The deck this wants to go in, I'm a little confused about because I don't want big spells in that deck, but
I know, but I'm excited to then play a big spell and then get a bunch of mana and then keep playing big spells, hopefully, and I keep drawing a bunch of cards, but I only have
kind of just
mana.
feels like a 2/2 menace that has like counter prowess.
Well, Jeff, you don't have to just ruin my day. Okay, fine.
You would love that card, a 2/2 menace that gets +1/+1 counter for every spell you play.
I mean, yeah.
You don't
And
need
then I
the
have
other
to-
part.
I need to put something. Well, you got to put something in the deck that'll make it go off, right?
I mean, it's one of those things that you do have to, but you probably shouldn't technically.
Okay, so you're telling me that I should buy this card and I should just Sharpie out the second part so I don't put shit in my deck. I should
make your deck better.
Damn it, Jeff.
Or put like
makes...
Fireball in or something.
That would be fun. I'd like that. That's not standard legal?
I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, they should bring Blaze back.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Blaze doesn't hit people, does it? It just hits creatures?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I thought it was instant speed Fireball, isn't it?
I thought it was. Well, we gotta look this up right now.
It's terrible.
I'm pretty sure I looked it up. I looked it up, and it was horrible. Any target. Sorcery speed, any target.
So it's... but no, Fireball had the weird thing where you could pay to hit more targets. Right?
Exactly, yeah. Oh, boy. Jeff, well, anyway, you just finished your beer. I'm finishing mine right now. Let's crack into the other one before we get into more spoilers. Because, well, we gotta.
Gotsta.
Mm-hmm. So just remember, folks, we are cracking the bigger one right now. This Imperial Wheat Ale, so we're going off the rails. It may be a small beer, but it's mighty. Yes. It should pack a punch.
Much like the early settlers of North America.
Oh, God. Jeff, that's horrible. You know what? I'm going to hate this beer just because of that.
I know, me too.
I'm going to root against it.
I hope you taste bad.
Yeah, it's like one of those reasons why like playing Settlers of Catan is like, I don't want to play this.
I don't want to be these people.
Yeah. It's like drawing cards from a deck, and it's like, you took over this village, gained 50 gold, and whatever, 3 heirs. And you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah. Also, that game sucks.
It is kind of boring. A game that devolves into just trading with your opponent and then losing when somebody gives up and doesn't care and then gives away all their stuff. Like, that's basically what always happened to me. It's like...
Yeah, and like somebody is virtually eliminated so quickly. Yeah. I feel like it has all of the bad things of game design, and I just don't understand how it got so popular. But this is a weird tangent. It's like every time I've played it, I'm like, why do people like this game?
Yeah, that game and Cards Against Humanity. I can't.
Oh my god, another one that... Like, I thought it was fun the first couple of times that I had a bunch of beers and played it. But then
I loved playing it.
Let's play it again. I'm like...
Yeah, the first time I played it when I was like 13, and we were playing the original one, Apples to Apples, loved it.
Yeah.
The one time I played Cards Against Humanity that I saw the cards, I'm like, oh, this is funny. Yeah. And then, well, it just feels... I don't want to go into a tangent about that. Maybe we'll do a whole tangent about those games in a
we could talk
episode or something.
Apparently, we dislike some of the same games, so that's good.
We do. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people feel that way, but I felt like that for a long time, to the point where I want, like, as soon as somebody pulls out the bigger, blacker box, I'm like, I got to get out of here right now.
Yeah. How do I leave?
However, inversely, those are the only games my wife would like to play. Is games like Cards Against Humanity. Though, flip side, real quick, it is kind of fun to play Cards Against Humanity with your family, like your parents.
Oh, yeah, I've done that like one time. Well, with my in-laws.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun when it's people that aren't like, your quote-unquote peer group, and you're like, you just are not prepared for the nasty shit that your like mother-in-law is going to put down. Like that is really funny, actually.
I did experience that.
That does work out.
I felt very awkward, but it was funny.
Yes. It's those awkwards where you're like laughing so hard, you're like, I think I'm going to throw up. Like I'm so uncomfortable and awkward in the situation that like I'm going to make it even worse by like throwing up everywhere, but I can't stop laughing. I think that's how I feel
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, back to cards. Jeff, this is the big one. The doozy. The one that everybody's going crazy over. Should they? From my perspective, from...
Definitely not.
The world that I am in, as far as like playing in limited Magic, yeah, totally. This card's awesome.
Limited, okay. All right, I'll get
yeah.
behind that.
In the world that people are talking about it because it's clickbaity stuff, obviously not.
There's
It's
no
nothing
way
even
this
close.
card's good.
It's like, no. So this is Emeritus of Ideation. It's 3 blue for a 5/5 creature human wizard at Mythic. It has flying and ward 2, and it says when this creature enters... this creature enters prepared. And it says whenever this creature attacks, or you may exile 8 cards from your graveyard. If you do, this creature becomes prepared. And then apparently prepared is a new mechanic. We don't know much about it. This is one of the leaked, spoiled, whatever cards. And
This
it
is
also
all
has
we know, right? Is the
Yeah, this
existence of
is
card.
yeah. It has stapled onto it Ancestral Recall, which is a single blue for an instant. Target player draws 3 cards. So what we can kind of figure out is that if you play this card, it's prepared. That's just probably some sort of marker. And then you can cast whatever spell is on it. If it's prepared, it will no longer be prepared. And then it can become prepared again. And then you get to cast the spell again. Cool. So this is a 6 mana, 5/5 flyer, ward 2, draw 3 cards. That's really good and limited.
Or you can have your opponent draw 3 cards.
Ooh.
It's an
You
option.
can't forget about it. That's really important.
Yeah.
It could be pretty important. Like, if,
Sometimes your
okay,
opponent has 2 cards in library, you know?
That's true. Everybody at home, if this ever happens to you, please join our Discord. We have a Discord. It's awesome. We talk about magic cards. It's great. But if you have your Emeritus of Ideation mill your opponent with Ancestral Recall, you got to give us screenshots. You got to send it to us. I need to see that.
I need to see that too.
That's amazing. Very important to remember that.
That's
Anyway,
like an achievement unlocked for this set.
they've got to add that for sure, right? Kill your opponent with Ancestral Recall. Yeah, buddy. Cool card. The reason people were kind of going crazy is because it kind of looks like it's an adventure, but obviously the spell site is on the opposite part of the text box, so it's not an omen or an adventure. It is, in fact, prepared. I don't know. We don't know what it's called yet. We're gonna have to wait till next week. But really, what sparked my interest about this card is what are the other ones going to be? We obviously have Emeritus of Ideation, but what are the other 4? There's going to be a cycle.
Yeah. And I did want to say quickly, I think the obvious thing here is what you said. Like, this creature enters prepared. If it's prepared, you can cast the other spell. The question I have is, in order to cast the spell, do you have to tap the creature? Because if that's built into the rules, that completely changes the timeline on this.
Oh, I don't think so.
If you could play this and immediately Ancestral Recall, that's different than if you could play this and untap an Ancestral Recall, and then when you attack, you have to untap to
No, I'm
Ancestral Recall, right? Like, that would be way worse.
That way worse.
Way worse.
Because what we were just talking about earlier with the grandeur stuff, Wizards doesn't like not putting actual text onto cards. This card that we're looking at is not in a special frame. It doesn't have a special art, which means that they didn't just leave off rules text on the card. Well, I guess the reminder text of prepared, I'm assuming, is you can cast
it's sort of
the
like adventure.
spell card.
Right? You have to know how adventure works
for the thing to work out. But I'm assuming that the tap symbol would be on this. Like, do they ever have tap in a reminder text of a card? Is what I want to know. Are there abilities where it's like tap is in the reminder text to remind you that to do this ability you have to tap? Outlast? Maybe that's one. Is it Outlast or is it or Level Up? Which one's the one? Level Up is instant speed, or sorry, sorcery speed.
Outlast is right.
Outlast
is sorcery speed though, and you have to tap. But I can't remember if they put that in there. But
I think that might be one that I would often just forget. If you have to tap this card, it is horrible.
So bad, right?
Not even like
That's
amazing.
kind of the only reason I'm thinking that that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah, because in Outlast it says Outlast and then a mana cost, and then in the reminder text it does say tap.
Right, but if something doesn't have that reminder text, it wouldn't say that. If
You would
it had
just
too
know
much
that.
text, you have to just know that that's how it
Okay,
works.
so all right. I didn't really think about the fact that it could suck ass and have to be tapped to
that
do
would.
that.
I think the card is bad in standard or constructed,
Of course.
even with the original interpretation. But it would really blow with the tapped. But it goes from like a limited absolute bomb to a strong limited card. Because you're already playing a 5/5 flyer ward 2 for 5 happily in limited.
but
and- If you have to choose between drawing the cards and attacking,
or attacking? No way. No, there's no way that this. There's no way. I will bet you beers that this does not tap. That prepared does not tap.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying it.
They would
okay,
make a card that bad. They would do that.
not in Strixhaven 2.0. No way, buddy.
Oh, good point. That's
We're going
that's
for
like a
good cards.
Strixhaven 1.0 design.
Exactly. They would have done that, and the deans would do that, but not. This
Yeah,
one.
that would be
No
the
way.
D. Except it would be like a 3/2, and it would have
Yeah. So dumb.
it would have twice as much text.
It would. Somehow this card with multiple spells and things on it has less text than the Deans did. Wild. So I am excited about the different Emerituses that will be in the set.
I have to
Obviously, we know
imagine
there's
that these are like the only ones, right? Like there's a mythic rare cycle that have this
Yeah, there will be
prepare
5.
ability, and then like
Yes.
almost nothing else will have prepare.
I don't
That'd
think
be my
so.
guess. I don't know.
I could see prepared on like there's a bunch of stuff you could do with it. But you could
I
trigger
know, but the reason I'm saying that is because Ancestral Recall is called out by name here. And so it's pretty clear that we're going to have Lightning Bolt, Giant Growth, Healing
Yeah.
Salve, and the other one that I
Dark
didn't
Ritual.
say, Dark Ritual. Has to be. And
Okay. So this is why I think it's on more than just the mythic cycle. Because of Healing Salve. All right? Because
no, that's the White Mythic.
No, but it
These
wasn't
are
a mythic.
all 1 mana spells that get 3 resources, Zach.
Yeah. But Jeff, remember that's
Equally
because
powerful.
Richard Garfield wanted people to have to guess which cards were rare and which ones weren't just by talking with your friends. That was like part of the fun of the game. Is that as you open more packs and do stuff, you're like, oh, this card's actually nobody has this. Oh,
Everyone
this must
should
be really
remember
rare.
this was before the internet was pervasive.
Yeah. So you couldn't just look it up. But it'd be like if your friends were like, oh man, I have a bunch of this one card, but I've never seen the one that you have, and it feels rare, and it is rare. But the cycle went across rarities. So Healing Salve was the common one, and then Ancestral Recall would be the mythic, of course. So imagine 1 and a white, 1/3. When this creature blocks, it becomes prepared. Pay 1 white mana. Either you gain 3 life or you prevent 3 damage. You cast Healing Salve.
Mythic rare.
Weird card. But I'm interested in something in the world of doing that.
It could be like a like not quite a vertical cycle, but like a mix, a vertical horizontal, where it's like there's the Grandmasters, the Emeritus, and then
Yeah.
there's the teachers and like the students. And
Oh, that's true.
the spells
That's
they
true.
get, are shittier.
Are different.
All the way down.
Because probably, you would think the Emeritus of white would be Swords to Plowshares, right? Another great 1 mana spell, but like, I don't know, a black one where it's like, every time a creature dies, this creature becomes prepared. This happens only once each turn. Pay 1 mana, get 3 black mana,
Yeah.
Could be interesting. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do. I really, really, really like the idea of all the spells that they cast are real spells from Magic because they learned them
I
at
hope they
Strixhaven.
keep that. They have to, right? They can't just have
They've
this one be
gotta.
real and all the other ones be new made up spells.
I think that we've been in the game long enough that they should continue to use the same names for certain things because it continues to ingrain itself. Like we need something to be mind rot. We need something to be these
And this
old
is a
names.
statement too, right? Because they even actually made it Ancestral Recall, which
Yes.
is target player draws 3 cards, which they almost would never print now.
Yeah, because it's confusing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of reasons they would never print Ancestral Recall now, but like,
Yeah.
you know, basically
main-
everything about the card.
yeah, everything. Anyway, this card is super cool, super interesting. It opens my mind for the possibilities of how great some of this stuff could be, and what you can do with that. I like the idea of being prepared. I'm fairly positive it's not a counter because you don't want to have multiple prepared counters so you can cast the spell multiple times. That sounds like death. It's like, oh, that ruins the whole thing. If you're like, oh, I get to proliferate my prepared counter, so now I have 5, and now I can cast Ancestral Recall a bunch of times to mill you out. Like, the idea is that you prepare, and then you cast it, and then you attack, and then you have to exile the cards that you played so that you get to prepare again. That's kind of
I
the way that goes.
I just don't think it's a counter, right? Because it would say that.
No.
This is a
Of course it
prepared
would
counter.
say. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it does have the kind of feeling of the Miosian a little bit, where they had from Champions of Kamigawa
Old
they came in
school. I
with
was
like
whoa,
a.
that's a deep
I'm
cut.
pretty sure they're like in Foundations though, right? Like they are around right now. The Miosian,
Oh, okay.
at least Knight's Reach, I think is.
I was going
in
to say the Knight's
Foundations.
Reach is the only one I know of off the top of my head.
Anyway, the Miosian enter with an indestructible counter on them, and then you remove the counter to cast an ability or a spell, basically. So this is kind of similar, it just doesn't give it indestructible. And you can't proliferate it, and blah, 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 like we just said. But anyway, super
Card
cool
is
card.
6 mana, draw 3 cards.
Yeah, that it's 3 blue pips. That's a lot of blue pips. In limited, yikes. But strong card, definitely an A+. Like, I would put this in my deck, and
Oh, and limited, yeah.
yeah.
Assuming you don't have to tap.
You don't have to, Jeff. I'm telling you. I'm betting you beers.
Or prepared is like, you know, pay the spell if it's prepared. And 7.
Wild. You're disgusting. Don't ever say something like that to me again.
Just saying we don't know.
Okay,
We just have
well,
this
we're gonna
one example, and you're assuming what the mechanic does. And I'm going to say...
tell me I'm
you're
wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
80% likely to be correct. But
Wild.
Wizards is
Wow.
weird enough.
And you're
that
a
that-
stats guy. You're a stats guy, and you're telling me I'm 80%.
Definitely.
Wow, okay.
Wizards
Wild.
is weird enough to game that 20%.
They are weird
This
enough.
mechanic being dumber than that.
Jeff, let's move to 2 mana spells.
Yes. This is actually almost where I thought we would start, but mechanics make sense. But this really is Strixhaven.
I mean, like, we gotta save the best stuff for after we're in an hour into the episode, right? That's it rewards our listeners. For all
Podcasting
the-
101.
Yeah, don't give them what they want at the beginning. That's why we talk about beer. Then
Actually,
we can get rid of
never give them what they want.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, Jeff, I'm pretty excited for these cards, honestly. These are pretty...
See,
like,
this is what I'm talking about when I say, like,
it's
I think
juiced.
they're doing the reverse of Strixhaven 1.0. Charms are exactly the opposite of Strixhaven 1.0. Like, sure, it's
Yeah.
3 abilities, but each of them are extremely simple, and charms are notoriously good.
Yes. So we have a cycle of 5 charms. Each charm is only 2 mana, and it's one of the colors of, obviously, the colors.
And
of the
can I just say
colleges.
that I love that too, because they've done things with commands recently, like even the last Strixhaven, and
They're all different mana
they're
costs.
all different mana costs, and like, come on, let's just do the thing with charms. Charms are 2 mana. That's the thing, and they
Or
do
3 mana.
things.
Depending.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
like
a
the
lot of
three
there-
color charms are 3 mana. Yes,
Yeah.
but I love charms here for this cycle
Yes.
of like, it tells the story of what this faction is about, and it's 2 mana because they're always 2 mana, and they're
Yeah.
instant. They're all instant speed. It's not like this one's a sorcery and that one's an instant, and that one costs 5 and this one costs 3 and that one costs like,
It's so confusing.
yeah.
Like the commands that we had for Strixhaven 1.0. Gonna say one of them worth playing.
Yeah, Prismari.
And that was the Prismari one. Yeah. The rest of
It was
them,
good. Prismari Command was a good card.
Prismari
rest-
command was good.
Witherbloom, like, kind of saw some
Looked
play
cool.
in older
Looked cool.
formats because it was cheap and did
It was really
because like
cheap.
it
It
killed 1 cost things, I think. So the older you go, the better that is.
Yeah. But those were kind of the ones. Lorehold was like 5 mana. Well,
Yeah.
Quandrix was like kind of interesting.
Some
but
were
wasn't really there.
sorceries, some were instants. It was just
And
like
then
these are
Silverquill, I
as
don't remember.
different as they could. Oh yeah, the Silver Quill
Yes.
one was like some sort of weird 4 mana, like terrible overrun kind of deal.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, these charms are awesome. I'm very excited about them. Let's
I like
start
them
off
all,
with.
actually.
I like them all, except for Quandrix because fuck Quandrix.
Yeah, well, obviously that's
yeah.
implied, you know.
Well, that's your college, right? So
No. I was said about this the first time
no,
Strixhaven.
No,
came
it
out.
is. It is your college. That's you right there.
Not
Look at you.
anymore.
Yeah.
That's
They're
why
doing-
I left the math game.
I see.
Because of Quandrix.
Because of
I
Quandrix.
was like, I don't want to be Simic. I'm out of here.
Yuck. Let's get out of here. Jeff, let's talk about Silver Quill Charm.
Cool.
So, Silver Quill Charm is white and black for an instant at uncommon. Choose one. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Exile target creature with power 2 or less. Each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
Exile little things. You get to put counters on your stuff at instant speed. You can also close out the game by draining. 6-point life swing for 2 mana. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff about this. This thing kills all the things you want it to kill, really, right now in Standard. I feel like you're able to kill all the little creatures that come in. You can kill all the mana dorks. You can kill Cub. You can kill Ouroboros when it comes down before it starts doing counter stuff. There's a
Huge.
lot of sweet things that this card can do. It kills Gran. And most of the threats that we're dealing with tend to be small little trinkety kids, and then they start to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
So let's stamp them out with our letter stamper right here. Bing, bang. Bam.
Yeah. This one's nice. You want to be aggressive to play this card. Like, you want creatures to put the counters on. You want that last ability to be relevant. I think we kind of referenced it, but maybe, like, for some of our, newer listeners, or charms are kind of a very old school thing.
Super old, yeah.
Charms are, we mentioned them, they're 2 mana and they're an instant speed, and they kind of have 3, like, okay effects. But the power level of the charm comes from these 3 effects are like orthogonal, and so this charm always ends up finding a use where, like, often there's one that's kind of the default.
Kill a thing.
Yeah, but then the fact that you have these other modes makes them so valuable. And this, I think, is a great example to start with, where this gives me somewhat Lightning Bolt kind of vibes, where it's like, Lightning Bolt most of the time is just used as a removal spell, but sometimes you have those games where you just have 2 or 3 Lightning Bolts in your hand, and you're like, hey, my opponent's at 6. Like,
Yep.
fuck you,
Boom,
I
boom.
guess.
Yeah.
Like, And then this one even has the like 2+1/+1 counters. Obviously, it costs twice as much as Lightning Bolt across 2 different colors, so it's a lot more sort of restrictive. But that's the kind of vibe I'm getting off this one. You want to be a black-white aggro deck. And if you're a black-white aggro deck, you're interested in all 3 of these things. And
Yes.
they all will come up. And I don't even know which one's the default in that deck. Like, probably maybe still the removal spell, just because it's like you get the blocker out of the way or whatever. But like, you're not often trading up on mana with that removal spell, right? Like, Urborvoid's a great example of when you
You get to trade up on mana, yeah.
Probably this is just getting rid of cubs,
Yes,
a lot of them.
killing lots of cubs. The other thing with it is that, like, Orzhov decks, I have been seeing stuff around that maybe Ketramos can come back around and play a little game, because this does exile their little cubs and stuff, so it does help your Ketramos plan, and making them lose life so you can gain life, so you can draw more cards, so you can get to the things that you need, could be kind of good. And putting counters on
Ketramos
on an indestructible creature is kind of nice. So
all right, planar standard Ketramos, let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's some cool stuff going on with this one. And Silver Quill was my favorite in the first iteration of this.
It would be, you artsy son of a...
Artsy? Oh, okay, they're performative, but Prismari's the artists, okay? Come on.
But Prismari was like visual artists mostly, right? And
yeah, but they're all about
Quill
performance
art.
Well, Silver Quill was about diction and cutting remarks and much more.
Oh, right, sure, like Shakespeare kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like Shakespeare, and I identify with that a little bit. But they felt more debate focused and lawyerly.
But they're very aggressive. I see what Wizards was
and catch people in their mistakes that they've kind of like their spoken mistakes. Which I would probably fail miserably if I ever joined that class. I would want to be in Prismari because they would probably let me like screw up the most and just still think I was okay. Prismari feels much more like art school, so going through it again would be like, yeah, cool, yeah. But no, I like Silver Quill. I like it a lot. Jeff, what's a charm that you want to talk about?
You know what? Let's just go right into it. The charm that I'm most interested in, but I actually do like them all, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
But let's get we just talked about a black charm. Let's talk about the other black charm. Mm-hmm. So this is Witherbloom charm, which is green and a black for an instant. You may choose one. Sacrifice a permanent if you do draw 2 cards, or you gain 5 life, or destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. I like this. I like it. This is kind of... So, Witherbloom, I think, just kind of looking at what we got going on here, is a go wide kind of Creatures Matters thing. Mm-hmm. Similar to what they did last time, with like probably a sacrifice sub-theme. Like,
yeah, its
tokens
base
kind of
is life gain with a token sub-theme.
Yeah. And so my concern is like, how interested am I in the sacrifice permanent, draw 2 cards in green black constructed? If they give me a little more juice for it, I'm very interested. Mm-hmm. If I have to go to like Abzan because there's just not enough there in green black, a little less interested. But so far, I'm excited. Like, you give me village rights on a charm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Already, I'm in. And it's sacrifice any permanent, doesn't have to be a creature.
Yeah. And
that.
I will say that, yes, this is 2 mana, so it can get spell snared, but you don't have to worry about your spell getting countered after you sacrificed your creature, because this only sacrifices it on resolution of the spell.
Yeah.
So then you don't get screwed out of like, hey, sacrifice a creature, put this on the stack, it gets countered. Oh, I just sacrificed a creature and paid mana for nothing. I get 2 for 1 myself, and that sucks.
Yeah, it's well worded in that regard. 5 life is a lot of life, but that's kind of like the, if you need it, kind of mode. And then destroying any permanent mana value 2 or less. I don't hate this because in Standard, there's a lot of permanents I hate that are mana value 2 or less.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Artist's Talent is really my...
Cool but rude. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish, it doesn't quite hit the
Monument.
monument. And there's a few things in the landfall deck that it doesn't quite hit, but it also hits some stuff in the landfall deck too. So
It's true. It's true.
I think this is kind of right where a charm needs to be, where it's like that ability is something that is really valuable to just have in your main deck. Because a lot of these things generally require your sideboard to deal with efficiently. And to just have this one's a lot more, to me, more than the Silver Quill. This one has, like, you're playing it for mode 1. And then mode 2 and 3 are, like, these are good in different matchups.
Yeah.
Across the spectrum. And just having this in your main deck really helps those matchups.
Yeah, especially if there's, like, having Witherbloom Charm in your deck in general when you're playing against the Monument screws up their math a little bit, where they think that they're like, oh, okay, we're going to kill you in this turn exactly. And you're like, well, gain 5. That's at least above, like, it's more than a food, right? A food is just like, oh, that's just one trigger. This is 2 triggers. And so that does, and it's hidden information. So that's...
and it also could be used to blow up, like, against mono red, any of their 2 drops or
cards.
Less. And again,
any of their
anything
cards.
in mono red. So, sometimes they play 3 drops, but...
Yeah. But yeah, I think that this does seem pretty sweet. And I don't know, I just forgot how much fun it was that they went back and revisited these color combinations and changed things up. I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
So great.
I just love this. It's Village Rites that has 2 sideboard abilities that I'm interested in playing.
Totally. Now, talking about color combinations that have changed things up a little bit, I want to talk about Lorehold Charm.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Yeah, so Lorehold was the biggest change and the biggest whiff from the last time we went to Strixhaven.
Yeah, it was a total whiff. I was really excited about it, and then I was like,
we were
they
both
just
super
didn't
stoked.
give us the juice.
It was not unplayable, but it was the worst color combination in Draft. And the best thing to do in Draft was like a teamer, essentially.
Yeah.
It was like Quandrix Prismari soup of just like hope to get big spells and play those. Because Lorehold was this weird like mid-range deck that cared about graveyard stuff coming out of your graveyard, and you never won. It was awful.
It's a really interesting take on red-white, but
Yeah.
the way that things lined up, it was bad.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Lorehold cares all about history. They're historians. And so they specifically in the art is all about statues and spirits. That tends to be what's going on. But you bring things back from your graveyard. It's a cool thing that they get to do. So this charm is red and white for an instant. Choose 1. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact of their choice. For the people who don't understand how sacrificing works, new players. But once again, that's, Wizards did this in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They're doing it again just to remind new players, nope, sacrifice is your opponent's choice. The other mode is return target artifact or creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So when you're playing against the Witherbloom Charm, whatever they blow up, you just get to bring it right back. And then creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until end of turn.
Ooh.
Trample is pretty different for these colors a little bit. I guess that's a little bit of a red influence there. I almost kind of wish it gave haste instead, but trample is interesting.
Trample is more mid-range, right? Haste is more aggro.
Yeah.
Like, haste is the Boros version.
Exactly. Haste is the Boros
Compare this to
version.
Boros Charm, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
It looks nothing like Boros Charm.
So different than Boros Charm, which is also legal in Standard right now. So you can play these alongside each other.
It'd be a weird deck, but you could totally do it.
You could totally do that. But yeah,
Although
like
maybe
our
with
first,
that last ability, it's not crazy.
I don't think it's crazy with the last one. I think you're kind of playing this for the second two. That each opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact, like comes up every once in a while. You might have a spot remove. Like this does get rid of Monument. They will probably have some treasures and shit though lying around, so that's kind of like a I don't know about that.
Yeah. That's
every once in a
the
while.
classic like charm ability that's just really nice to have on there because and non-token is huge here, obviously, because
Yes.
so many.
Oh, you're
token
right. I
artifacts.
literally said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So you do get to snipe the monuments and don't care about their treasures. I love that they have been adding more non-token. Like your opponent had to sacrifice a real thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that
Because
you hate.
it's already bad that they get to choose. You don't need to let them choose garbage.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I think a lot of players will be playing this for the second mode, which is just returning something from their graveyard because it's the most interesting, exciting one. I will say that the difference between 2 mana value and 3 is so big.
Two is tough. Like that's asking
two
for a
is tough.
specific thing from you.
You want a specific card. Have you ever
But
played?
3 would be a little pushed at instant speed to have 2 other abilities and get a 3-drop back for 2 mana. Like that'd be
It would be really pushed.
good.
Because Helping Hand is obviously 1 mana sorcery. Do that. But no, I think
2
this
mana
card's-
instant with 2 other abilities. I think that's a little much.
I mean, like I was playing a Boros deck that had Catharsis to give your creatures +1/+1 and haste. And so I was wondering if this would go into a similar build where maybe you're playing some more token stuff or some bigger things that then you want to give them trample. Does it live in that world where we're getting back the Kithkin guy, the Kinsair or whatever?
Yeah.
Like things like that. I don't know.
Because you can do it on end step, right? And you can untap with the
And so-
Kinsker.
You get to attack. You get to play something from your hand for free. That stuff's kind of interesting.
That snowballs quickly.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how much white aggro decks or what we're really doing in Standard right now. That's kind of what I've learned through my adventures into white aggro in Standard. But
But Pauper
this card's
Standard.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm also playing Pauper Standard, yeah.
You play mono
or-
white?
I am playing mono white, yeah.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Yeah. Watch out. Leonardo will kick your ass. He's actually very good.
Yeah, the common
Yeah.
one, right? Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, all the rest of your cards are just like helpful hunters, essentially. And then you're like, oh, I'll attack with everybody.
I kind of
And then
dig that, actually.
I pick up one of my helpful hunters and play a Leonardo to dome you for 7 after you blocked, and then recast my helpful hunter, draw a card. Or you're dead.
Yeah, up to you.
Up to you. Up to you. It's been good. It's been fun. It's like a base de facto deck, so it's nothing exciting, and like I didn't make it up, but I made up the play creatures that say draw a card and then attack.
Yeah,
with them.
Zach is a visionary
Yeah.
in Pauper Standard.
But it's called Standard Popper. Come on, get out of here.
You invented White Weenie. Wow.
Whoa.
It's a real pleasure to
Craig.
have you on the show.
It's
the
me.
inventor
I'm
of
Craig.
White Weenie.
Craig Wesco? Yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't
Jeff.
I think White Weenie might have been invented before you were born. So
That's rude. I was born in 1992, good sir.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
and
All
the
right.
game was invented.
1993. Get out of here. Obviously, I've been alive for the entire existence of the game. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but
Getting attacked here by this kid who thinks he's hot stuff 1991 bullshit.
it's just
Talk about
I'm
your-
just saying.
talk about-
Listen, like,
Jeff, talk
appreciate
about the
your
next charm.
elders. That's...
Talk about the next charm.
All right, I guess I got to do Quandrix.
Yeah.
So Quandrix is a green and a blue instant. You choose one. Counter target spell lets this controller plays 2. Destroy target enchantment. Target creature's base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. You know what? This is fine. Like, this is a good card. You're combining 2 cards that see play, and then a third mode that's like could be relevant. I don't know.
I love the 5/5 randomly. Like, that's fun to me.
I know. That's kind of your thing. But, like... this card is... oh, sorry. Actually, the random turn something into a 5/5 in combat. I think Gemini explained to me why that was good.
Oh, sure, yeah. Gemini said that it was good.
Gemini.
Okay, to be fair, the one I picked, or didn't pick, sorry, does draw you a card, so it's better. But
this is Quench plus, like, half of Naturalize. That's already something you're kind of interested in certain decks.
it's true.
And then, yeah, the 5/5 thing is also... it's relevant. Like, that comes up.
Especially if you're playing a deck that has lots of +1/+1 counters. So
right,
it does...
Right, because it's the base power and toughness.
Yeah, because most of your creatures are small and the counters and everything.
This one, to me, feels limited. Like, this feels like a limited card more so than a constructed staple. Because the blue-green decks that do well in constructed, there's like, don't bother with this shit. They just try to go so much bigger and faster than everyone else that, like...
Their counter spells are real. Yeah. I will say that Quench on a card that's 2 colors is pretty bad, because Quench is really good in turns 2, 3, and 4, and like making sure you have the right colors up to have 2, like just the color thing is going to be an issue for this card.
And also counter spells are, you know, like, part of the reason Quench is kind of good is it's really easy to mask it. But when you're explicitly holding up, like, green-blue, it's easier to read it from the other side of the table.
Exactly. Especially in the Simic decks that we see right now, which is like, you didn't tap out to play stuff on your turn? Oh, that's good for me. Like, even if you spent the turn just countering my spell, I'm like, that's better than you slamming a bunch of other shit, so...
Totally.
This one seems like the one I care least about.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
I think
just
that the
because it's
constructed decks that are doing, like, the green-blue thing aren't that interested in playing this.
No.
Maybe it's a sideboard card because it, like, you know, does 3 different things, so it helps with your constraint of only having so many sideboard slots. But, like, I think... you're just trying to, like, vomit out... if you're playing green-blue, you're trying to vomit out your Badger Mole Cubs and your mana makers as early as possible.
Ooh, mana makers.
You don't want this in your hand, in your opener.
No.
You know?
Absolutely not. Garbage. That's what I'm saying about that card. I like all the charms, but honestly, any Quandrix card, I just tend to, like, just not care about it.
Yeah. It's because it's the math school, and math is stupid. So
math is dumb. In a world of magic, why? Why are we doing math?
Quandrix
Why are we
is
doing all
magic
this
math?
What's this about?
They're math magicians.
Ugh. Magician? Get out of here. Wizards, warlocks. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, we got one charm left. It's called Prismari Charm. It is blue and red for an instant. Choose one. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Prismari Charm deals 1 damage to each of 1 or 2 targets, and return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Yeah, this is the stuff.
Yeah,
These are the things.
The part of the...
lay it on us.
The cynical part of me is upset. Because, I don't know, this one just seems like the best one. Like, it does the forked bolt, or the bounce, or the fucking...
Find a thing.
What's it called, though? The surveil, like the scry 2 draw card, preordain. Like, why does blue red always have to get the best one? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. This one, very good, obviously. I'm never going to play it because I hate it.
I agree. This one is the best one.
It's just, like, obviously the best one, though. Like, what is this? What is this card? Anyways, whatever. Except, though, I have taken solace in the fact that the one I'm looking at, I actually can't see the mana cost. This could be 2 blue-red.
Jeff, obviously, I'm going to put the right one up for the episode, so...
This is a weird angled shot.
Okay, I'm going to remind you. I'm going to remind you of some cards from original Strixhaven, okay? So, are you still upset if you remember that the card that we got in original Strixhaven was Expressive Iteration? Because that was...
Now I'm angrier. Fuck that card.
Yeah. So some of these charms kind of reminded me, and I wanted to look back at some of the really powerful 2-mana like school spells. Expressive Iteration being the most like best one, the most good, bestest, strongest one. Didn't this get banned?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Expressive Iteration is blue and a red for a sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, one on the bottom, and then exile one. You can play it this turn. So this is a classic turn 3 play where you look for your land drop. Put a card in your hand, play the lands that you found, and put the other card on the bottom. It's basically like 2-mana divination, but one of the cards you know is going to ramp, or not ramp you, but find you.
It's literally like 2-mana draw 2, but better.
Yes.
With upside.
Yeah. It's a very good card. Like we said, it got banned. It was also so good that I remember in a tournament, Seth Manfield had pinpointed that it was like, this is the card you have to counter. Yeah. And so he was spell piercing this furiously.
Yeah.
This was also the beginning of our... was this the beginning of the disgusting?
Is that when he won? That was when he was world champion, or not world champion, whatever tournament.
He's world champion right now.
No, but they had like, it was a historic thing. There was like
Mythic
some massive tournament that he won on the back of like aggressively countering, like realizing the whole matchup was about.
I'm pretty sure that's the tournament I can remember. But I just want to remind you that's like some of the 2-mana stuff that we were dealing with. Another 2-mana spell that kind of reminds me of some of these charms and stuff. Decisive Denial. This was the Quandrix one. It was 2-mana, green and blue. You could choose one. You could target creature fights another target creature you don't control, or counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 3 mana.
It was fine.
It was fine, but kind of an interesting thing that feels similar to the charm.
Like a dual mode kind of seems.
Yeah.
Mana cost.
And in the same vein, Rip Apart was the Lorehold one, which is red and white sorcery. Choose one, deal 3 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or you could destroy target artifact or enchantment. So they kind of had the feels of like powerful 2-mana class spells. We had charm-ish stuff, but I'm glad that we went full bore right into it.
But again, we had like Lorehold gets hard to cast sorcery speed Abrade. And Quandrix gets like weird fight spell.
Counter spell thing.
Prismari gets one of the best draw spells they've ever printed.
Of all time. Yeah.
Feels similar. What the fuck is this?
Jeff, this is magic, don't you know?
Yeah, you know what? Blue-red, they need their time in the sun in Standard. And so we had to give them a little support. And so they decided to print this charm.
It's just such a funny thing because like when I'm playing like draft and stuff, blue-red is one of the color combinations you want to stay away from the most.
No,
and as soon as
almost always.
Except for in like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So until you're like picking cards to put into your deck for some reason, then is always a problem, or Prismari, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because like we've had big mana extra turn decks that did a bunch of crap like that. Copying spells decks have been crazy. And I'm sure that a long tenure of this podcast has just been, is the best deck. in one of the formats for every single moment that we have been playing and talking about this game.
Well, what I've learned is the more cards are in a format, the more likely it is that it is the best deck in that format.
It's true. Yeah, is what Prismari, and is it? They're just like the Patriots of this. I guess not so much anymore. The Patriots are obviously like bad because they just famously lost the Super Bowl most recently.
They still were in there.
That's
not
true.
Too many years after a fucking dynasty.
I will say the Broncos should have been in the Super Bowl after just some stupid calls, and our backup quarterback was doing this with the football for some reason. In a snowy game, not fair.
Well, maybe your starting quarterback should have disclosed his previous injury to his coaching staff.
Okay, well, maybe he wouldn't have been drafted and wouldn't have had a job if he did that. So
yeah,
he deserves
but it would be
a
the
job.
honorable thing to do.
That doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. Get out of here. Next year. We're going. Next year.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle. It's taking us there. Let's go. Anyway.
I do like Jalen. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, sucks. Prismari Charm, obviously the best one.
Yeah.
I don't know why they keep doing this. Somebody at Wizards likes blue and red.
I guess so.
Somebody who has a lot of sway.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think Hasbro likes blue and red.
That's so funny. I thought Hasbro really liked green.
Nah. Well, they do like green.
Yeah. Money. They like
You know what
money.
they hate, though? Black. Fuck.
Yeah, it's true. Brutal. Anyway, Jeff, do you have anything you want to talk about before we go to last call and finish this whole thing up?
The only thing I wanted to say is I got a little excited from seeing Stock Up because they have brought back
Yes.
the what are they called? The
Mystical Archives.
Mystical Archives. Thank you. And I always liked these, actually. Like, I still, to this day, use the Duress art from the Mystical Archives.
So
That's
good.
my go-to.
Easy to sideboard out of your deck, too.
Right?
Or,
And
sorry,
I-
into and out of.
Yeah.
Depending
Both
on what it
ways. And Stock Up has obviously already proven itself to just be, like, a fantastic card. And I think the art is great on it, too. So go check out the Mystical Archives Stock Up. And I'm kind of excited to have more Mystical Archive variants of some of the cards that I just play.
Yeah.
And I know there was the whole deal of like having to collect them last time, and there were like commons or rares and kind of all that kind of nonsense.
But they fixed that this time.
Yeah,
like
they've
Arena
learned
no
their
longer.
lesson.
Yeah.
So any of the bad taste in your mouth about the last Mystical Archives, I think, is hopefully sated, and this just looks great, and I'm excited to see this version of Stock Up. Like, I'm excited to lose to this one as well as the regular one.
Yeah,
mix
absolutely,
it up a bit.
yeah.
Mix it up a bit.
That way you can, like, because also you get the Japanese version as well. Oh, beautiful.
Right, yeah. Because, a lot of the time I'm just sitting there like, well, as long as they don't have Stock Up... And at least this time I get to be like, well, that's nice art, at least.
Yeah. Well, if they don't have... Oh, well...
Yeah.
You just got to be like, well, they're going to have Stock Up, so which art is it going to be?
Yeah.
You got to guess.
And, like, maybe their top 7 cards, or 5 cards, don't have good stuff.
Or not their, combo pieces or whatever. As every time I've played that card, it's been like 3 mana, go get your 2 combo pieces. It's been great. It's like, this is a fantastic.
Really, when I play it, it's like, here's 5 lands. But when my opponent plays it, it's like, here are the exact 2 spells, 1-ofs in your entire deck that
That you
actually
needed
get you out
right
of this
now.
situation.
Yeah. No, because they had those in their hand already. They just wanted to make you think.
It's true, and it is technically correct to play Stock Up first. So I'm always
Yeah.
like, did you fucking have that already?
Yeah. Oh god. Anyway, Jeff, let's go to last call. As always, we rate our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this has nothing to do with what tier you are in currently, because everyone's in different tiers at different times. So don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers, they're trash, they're horrible. Spit them out, pour them on the ground, yuck, stomp on that puddle. Blech.
Next level. Silver beers are just kind of bad or not interesting, kind of boring.
Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't really drink them again.
Platinum is super solid. You would totally drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptional. You like these a lot. You show them off to your friends.
Mythic, these are the best of the best. The gold standards, these are the Prismari charms of the beer world.
Mythic is the gold standard. I love it.
Yeah. The red standard?
Yeah, whatever. Orange? Hey,
Kind of like
orange.
a shiny orangey red.
Yeah. It's like a... Anyway. Jeff, what do we think about these beers?
All right, let's do it in order. Petit Maudit.
Okay. Yes.
Um,
Do I remember this beer?
After having done it, I remember thinking, if I could go back that far,
Yeah. It's so long ago.
it felt just a little like light. I mean, it's a light beer, I know, but like light on body. And I think, to me, there's just a bit of a like antithetical thing going on here, where you're trying to make a brown, but then you're trying to make it light. And, like, to me, a brown is giving you that body, and this was very like
in a weird world.
yeah, it was like, I'm not sure who this beer is for, because
agree.
what like people who would like this probably want something even lighter, like a kind of, or like with less beery flavor, and the people who like browns want a little more body to it.
Be like a brown.
I don't know. This
like
kind
that
of
it's-
tasted like a watered down brown ale to me.
Yeah, I like that it's 4%, but I wish that it's...
I want the
least kinda
body,
tricked me.
but then still the.
I want
4%
it.
alcohol.
I want it to trick me a little bit. I want it to be like, oh, this is 4%, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it is. Like that is what I kind of wanted.
In the same way that Fin du Monde is like, whoa, this is 9%. I better slow down because it doesn't taste like it. I want this to be like, whoa, this is only 4%. I love this. But
exactly.
as soon as you drink it, you're like, yeah, it tastes like it's 4% because it tastes like they mixed water with.
Yeah, just kind of poured some water into there. So I don't know. We calling this gold?
Yeah, I didn't really like this.
Yeah,
But I acknowledge that whatever beer they mixed water with was good.
it was really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely would not consider this to be like a silver beer. It was definitely tasty, but yeah.
And
When
maybe
they
it's
d-
just like the pedigree or the type of beers I've had from this place. This wasn't aligning with it, but
It's also the kind of thing that, like, if I am getting beers from this spot, I'm like, well, there's so many different ones I can get. This is just not one I'm gonna
I
pick up
just
ever
won't
again.
pick this one up.
Yeah.
What'd you think
Now-
of Don't It Yet?
It was sneaky like those colonizers on those ships, man.
Yeah.
It is big. I can feel that it's big. But I could down that quickly. It was really tasty. And smooth in a way. Like, it did have it had the quality of like, oh, I know that there's going to be alcohol in this because it felt like a bigger beer, but like it felt closer to like a 7%, like a smooth 7%.
Yeah.
Now, when you're drinking some of these beers, if you're not familiar with drinking like pretty heavy beers, it does tend to be the case where you get higher up into the range. If it's not a stout, it usually tastes kind of lighter.
Right.
Sometimes the 7% taste like heavier and like harder to get through than some of the higher ones.
Yeah, it's weird. The alcohol actually balances like the IPA
The bitterness
hops,
and stuff
that's
like
going
that.
on.
Obviously, this isn't an IPA in that world, but definitely in the IPA land.
Right.
It
The double
reminds
is
me
usually
of-
smoother than the single.
Yes. The single is like, oh, this is kind of hard to drink, but the double is like, oh, that's so smooth, but you're just like wrecked.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this is so small. because
Yeah.
holy moly,
Packs a punch.
definitely packs a punch. Delicious though.
This reminded me of Fin du Monde, actually.
It reminded
I feel
me a
like
lot
this
of
is
Fin
like
du
a
Monde.
wheat Fin du Monde.
Yeah. Now,
With some vanilla, maybe? Did it have vanilla in it? I don't know.
ooh,
But
like the oak on the ships that they used to get over here.
brilliant.
So we aged our beer in an old ship.
Yeah, we literally found that ship, and we just poured
Just
a bunch
poured
of
it
beer.
on the floor.
Yeah, just everywhere. Then we mopped it up.
Yeah, and then we then we did. I feel like this is probably like a diamond beer. I think this is
good.
great.
This was good, but it wasn't. I mean, maybe I'm just biased, but it wasn't as good as Fin du Monde. But it was like this reminded me of Fin du Monde, but like a wheat version.
Like a nice little cousin to Fate.
Yeah, which made it only slightly worse because it used wheat.
Yeah. And
This was really, really tasty though. Like it gave me that. I was like, yeah, I could tell these
This
guys
is-
made Fin du Monde because it's the same exact thing. It's everything you
It's-
said. It's like it doesn't taste like it's 9%. Very smooth, very tasty. Little kind of like what you'd expect, I guess, lighter, fruitier than Fin du Monde in the wheat sense. And maybe I'm crazy. I was getting a little vanilla in there, which I actually
no,
kind of
you're
liked.
not crazy at all.
And it was really nice.
It was really nice. I liked it a lot. But I don't think it can. It kind of feels like each brewery kind of gets one mythic.
Yeah.
And they can't really outshine the other ones because, like, you know, the best of the best, the one that is their best beer is kind of the mythic beer. Unless all the beer is trash, which, to be fair, many breweries go under there.
Right. It's like most breweries don't get to mythic at all. But
Yes,
the
at
ones
all.
that do.
Tend to have one beer, and so it's really hard
Yeah.
to like push it off the top. But I don't know if this one was in a bottle and had the presentation of that. That tends to be something that's important to me, at least. I don't go to dinner parties, but if I did, I think about bringing a bottle of beer, being like, "Oh, this is an important, exciting beer."
Right.
So sometimes that presentation, you know, if your beer or your wine comes in a box, like a wooden box, you're like, "Oh,
Ooh.
something special is inside of this."
Yeah.
And then when there's not something special, you're like, "What the fuck was all this box stuff about?" But no, a beer that is worthy of a box is kind of nice to think about.
Yeah. And like,
and-
I wonder if this brewery didn't also make Fin du Monde, would this be mythic for me? I don't know. But
It could be. I think it really could be.
It could be, right? It's like creamier a little bit too because of
Yes.
the wheat. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a different take on Fin du Monde.
I really want to have
really
these
yummy.
back to back.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to get Don de Dieu and Fin du Monde
Mm-hmm.
and settle this.
I think okay. I'm gonna put Diamond Plus because I think that's a good.
It could be.
That's
mythic,
it.
though.
That feels like an episode. That feels like an episode.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think we found what Unibrew is good at.
yes.
They're good at these big Belgian like large
Mm-hmm.
9% beers that have that kind of
Yeah.
fruitiness going on. And
It's true. Yeah. And yeah, love it. Unibrew, great beer. Great beer.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some good beer once in a while, you know?
yeah.
It is nice. Jeff, let's go to. Well, yeah, you can listen to last week's episode if you want to. Jeff, let's go to closing time. Let's close it out. As always, you can reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
You may also find us on Arena itself with the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you would like to talk to me personally, you can find me at @theregular_Zach. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all the different places. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Best place is our Discord channel. It's a thriving community where we talk about standard, we talk about limited, we talk about cube, we talk about random nonsense, and we even talk about a few formats that are not officially supported. Poppers, planar standard, all that stuff. And best of all, on the second Wednesday of every month, we do an Arena Peasant Cube Draft. Although is this artisan? Is artisan the right word?
I was going to bring this up. So, yes, I think technically in arena speak,
Yeah.
it's an artisan cube. Maybe we should talk to the cube designer about this. But in
Really.
paper, you would usually call it peasant.
Yeah.
But because it's on arena, artisan is something that could be thrown about as its commons and uncommons.
And I guess it technically means what is common and uncommon on arena. So, anyways.
That's true.
But it's only commons and uncommons. You don't have to use your rares and mythic rare wild cards for this cube, and it's super fun. It's a really well-designed cube, always evolving, always taking in the newest cards, and it's totally free. So to join that, all you have to do is join our Discord channel. The link is in the show notes, and say, hey, that cube sounds awesome. I'd like to play.
Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to our YouTube channel. Leave us a little comment. All this stuff means a lot. It helps our AIO, as search engines are, very important. However, putting all that aside, we want to know what you think about the podcast. We want to talk to you out there and what formats you are interested in and what cards and charms you think are the best. So leave us a comment. It means a lot to us, and we will talk to you. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that if you want to know what Magic cards are coming out in a few months, just open a pack of the current set.
Good night. All right, that's fine.